This is Emily from Emily of New Gloom fame.
Is it fame?
A little bit of fame. Today we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite book to movie adaptations. And she knows what she's talking about.
Sort of. Only because I watch movies, but I don't really read as many books as I probably should.
And she also studied film at university.
Okay, probably my favorite of all time is The Virgin Suicides, which was written by Jeffrey Eugenides.
Yes.
And then directed by Sofia Coppola.
Mm-hmm.
Who I love.
I have to agree. I read The Virgin Suicides recently, and then I watched the movie. I felt like it had like the right atmosphere that the book has.
It completely captures the tone of the book.
Also Kirsten Dunst.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with my favorite ever, which is Pride and Prejudice, the new adaptation with Keira Knightley. Best ever. Like, this is a movie that I've watched at least 100 times and I rewatch every couple of weeks.
Wow.
I've watched it so many times because it's also one of those movies that has so much nice music and just kind of nice scenery that I can put it on in the background. It's funny, like the book is. It's not very pretentious, like some Jane Austen adaptations can be a bit for a specific crowd, I guess.
The Color Purple. It's a good book. It's an interesting adaptation because the book is written by a woman and then the film's directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's not a very Spielbergian film. Oprah Winfrey's in it.
Right.
That's where I like gained my respect back for Oprah.
The next one I have is Wuthering Heights, also the most recent one. It's kind of odd. It's not what you would expect. I've seen some BBC miniseries that are very faithful to the book, and this one is just, there's not a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of artsy, in focus, out of focus shots, but I just feel like it captures the mood of the book and the mood of the characters and just kind of their relationships. It only kind of covers the first half of the book. I was really sad about that and didn't realize it until the movie ended, and I was like, wasn't there another half of the story? The movie has a beautiful Mumford & Sons song that only shows up at the end. Like, there's hardly any music in the movie. It's just mostly the wind and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that. Do you own it?
Yeah.
Can I borrow it?
Yeah. If you're a little bit tired and you're watching it, you're so gonna fall asleep because it's really slow and really calming as well with the wind.
I dig that though. The more quiet and more slow a film is, the more I probably will like it a lot. I'm just gonna run off a few without talking about them because The Babysitter's Club, very important part of my childhood. Speak?
Yes. Speak is excellent. I don't know if I read the book before or after.
I remember when I read the book, I was like in grade 10 or something, and I was very angsty at the time, and like all my friends would be like hanging out at lunch hour and I just in the corner like with my hoodie on reading this book and just loving it.
Okay, I'm gonna steal one of yours. Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo plus Juliet.
Yes.
Baz Luhrmann style. It's Leonardo DiCaprio at his most beautiful moment, I think.
I mean, apart from Titanic.
I don't know, man.
Is he younger in Titanic or older?
I think he's older.
But he wears a suit. Very important literary and film discussions here. We had to watch this in high school. It was really difficult for us to follow because it's the original Shakespearean text and then we had Dutch subtitles, and I remember like almost everyone in my class was like, what is happening? I don't understand. I don't think I appreciated it as much at the time.
I know a lot of like faithful Shakespeare lovers have problems with it because it's not in like proper iambic pentameter.
I love really modern adaptations with modern music and things like that because I feel like anything that can get people interested in the story or the topic or just get like inspire them to read the actual text is a great thing.
Two really good graphic novel adaptations, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Ghost World. Scott Pilgrim is situated exactly where I lived when I lived in Toronto, so it's like I know all of the, like when I read it I knew all of the landmarks, and then when I watched the film it was like being in my neighborhood. I saw Ghost World before I read Ghost World, and I found the characters in Ghost World so much more frustratingly annoying. They're pretty annoying in the movie, but it works and you like it, but in the graphic novel it's a little bit much to take.
I really love A Series of Unfortunate Events. I quite enjoyed the books, like I wasn't that into them. I think I read up until the 8th one, which everyone keeps telling me that after the 8th one it gets better. I've already read 8, so I think I'm done. I love the movie. All the actors are amazing. Is it Jim Carrey that's in it?
Oh yeah.
Canadian! So good. I like the look of it. I like that they combined the first 3 books into it. Worked so well, and I would give everything if they would make a sequel.
There's a lot of improv, I think, in that movie too.
Oh yeah, it's just like Jim Carrey doing his thing. Okay, now we're gonna go to Twitter. If you guys have been doing your job, you've been sending me replies about your least favorite book to movie adaptations. I'm just gonna read out some of these tweets and we'll see if we agree with this. The first one is The Virgin Suicides. Obviously we don't agree with that one.
Delete.
Aragon, which I agree with. I remember, I think the author editor was like, I don't want anything to do with this movie anymore. It's one of those things where they took like the beginning and then they put in this like massive fighting scene at the end, and I'm not sure if that was even in the book. It started out pretty okay and then it just went to a place where it's like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
I see someone put Prisoner of Azkaban too, which surprises me because that's one of my favorites.
It's kind of the one that's most out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty young when that came out, and I remember I was really upset mostly because of the Marauders thing that they didn't put in there.
I think it was just like such a stark contrast between the director of the first two and the director of the third one. The director of the first two, Christopher Columbus, he did like Home Alone and stuff, and then the third one, he's into serious shit.
I think the series needed it. I think it needed to be like shaken up a bit.
The shot in the leaky cauldron, it's one take. It's when Arthur Weasley tells Harry about Sirius Black, and they're like, he kind of like pulls him away, and then it's like, it's all one shot, and it moves in and out, and it's like...
I Am Legend. I love the adaptation of I Am Legend. I've read the book and I know it's not faithful to the book at all. It's like set in a different city with a kind of almost a different main character in a different situation. The movie says that it's inspired by the book. It's not supposed to be a faithful adaptation. I think it's a really interesting story, so I like it. Also, Will Smith.
The Lovely Bones. I really liked the book, The Lovely Bones, and I like a lot of it. Like, it has a really good cast. But I'm sorry, I just think it was the wrong director for the job. Everything was super crazy magical, and it was just...
I remember like the massive beach ball rolling through the sky in heaven. It's like, I can't deal with this.
Even the screenplay was really bad. I just remember just hating it. The cinematographer is the same cinematographer who did a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff. All of the shots are like all this like intense like fantasy. Just did not work.
I didn't like the new adaptation of Jane Eyre because I'm so spoiled with the BBC miniseries, which are amazing. The new movie was so flat.
I always get really frustrated when people are anticipating a completely faithful adaptation. An adaptation can even simply mean that you just took the title or you took a small part of that book.
I feel like as long as it captures the atmosphere and the characters, that's the most important thing.
I like how when you see an adaptation, you don't know exactly what's gonna happen.
It's like with graphic novels as well. Like I read the graphic novel version of Sense and Sensibility, and it was boring because there was way too much text and there was nothing new to get from it except that there were now drawings of the characters in there. In the comments you can let us know what your favorite and least favorite book to movie adaptations are and what you kind of think about the things we said in this video.
If you feel like watching videos that are not about books ever, you can click on my face.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we will see you later. Bye!
Hell me cool.